Okay, welcome. Well, last week we were with Paul and his friends in Philippi, and so this morning I thought we'd take the time to look at one verse in Paul's letter to his friends there in Philippi. So it's about 10 or 12 years after Paul's ministry in Philippi. He's in Rome, not in a dungeon at this point. That will come later. He's in probably what we would call house arrest. It's the situation described for us in Acts chapter 28. And so from that situation, he writes to his friends at Philippi basically a thank you letter for the help and the prayers that they have sent. And just a wonderful, sweet letter. I'm at chapter 1, verse 6. I said, I'm confident of this very thing, that the Lord, who has begun a good work in you, will bring it forward all the way until the day of Jesus' return. And it's appropriate for me to think this because I have you in my heart. And it's that phrase I want to focus on for a few minutes this afternoon. I have you in my heart. That's King James 16:11, and ASV 1901 stayed with that translation. I have you in my heart, although they put a footnote that technically you could read the grammar backwards. You have me in your heart. Although, because when you look at verse 8, God is my witness how greatly I long for you, it seems that the topic in verse 7 and verse 8 is Paul's feelings about them, not their feelings about him. They're warm both ways, of course, but the main topic here is his relationship to them. So I think it's correct. There's a kind of a consensus, even though there's a footnote in the ASV and a similar footnote in the Net Bible very recently that possibly it's the other way around. But the consensus says that fundamentally he's saying, I have you in my heart. Now, interesting thing happened about 1946 when the RSV came out. They improved the translation of that verse. Rather than, I have you in my heart, they went with, I hold you in my heart. Small change, but I think important change. I have you in my heart means you're sitting there. It doesn't say anything about how you got there or I feel about you being there, just you're there. But if he says, I have you in my heart, I hold you in my heart, or even better, I carry you in my heart, it conveys a little more of the warmth. This is a missionary pastor, a pastor who's been separated by geography and circumstance from his flock, and he's writing about how he feels about them. So I think the RSV 1946 was a significant improvement. I hold you, that's an active verb, I hold you in my heart. That RSV translation was carried through then in the NRSV and the ESV, I'm happy to say. Sadly, a number of the recent translations have gone back to the older translation, to the King James. That word that strikes me as being kind of cold, I have you in my heart. In fact, of the 50 or so that I looked at, fully 30 go with the old King James translation. A few come up with some interesting paraphrases like, you have a special place in my heart, or you are so close to me, or you are on my mind all the time. But I think the RSV got it right. I hold you in my heart, or I would even say I carry you in my heart. So I hope that the next time you read Paul's letter to these dear friends in Philippi, that you will think of how he carried those early believers in his heart and in his prayers, and you'll think about who it is that you are carrying in your heart, and then carrying up to the Lord in prayer for them. So, okay, thank you for joining us, and Lord willing, soon we'll move on, follow Paul to Thessalonica. So it's just as he continues his missionary journeys in Greece. So.